Hello, guys. Welcome today, everyone. It's good to see you back. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the Flight Sim world. And I'm finally back home after over a week and a half on vacation. So yeah, it's been 2 weeks since I last streamed. I hope everyone's been doing very, very well. And today we're heading more to the Caribbean today, and we're actually here in Aruba today. We're just right outside of the capital city of Oranjestad. I hope you're all doing well, and we are doing a tour of the ABC Islands of Aruba, Bonaire, and Caraco. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope you guys have been enjoying your Wednesday morning. So before we get started, we'll say hello in the chat. Hello, Super Typhon. And Krabby1, thank you for the follow as well. So let's go ahead and talk about our flight plan for today's. It's going to be a slow plane. We're going to take the slow plane. We're going to take off here from Rita Beatrix International. We'll fly around to the capital of Oranjestad. We'll be turning around downtown. We'll be seeing some of the cruise ports. I will also be showing you guys some pictures of what I've been flying around with. Then from Oranjestad, we then go upwards across the beach. We go through quite a few of the beaches into Arashi Beach, which is further north. Then from Arashi Beach, we'll make our way down the coast of the island. We'll be making our way there to the Alta Vista Chapel. Then we're going to visit the AO rock formations. In many of these areas I have actually been to during my time in Aruba. Then visit Aracock National Park. Then go down, reach the natural pool. Continue along down the coast of Aruba. And then once there, we'll be heading to Curacao, which is the only of the ABC Islands I didn't visit on my trip, but we'll still fly over a little bit about it, make our first landing of the day at Williamstad Hado International, at just outside of Williamstad. Then we'll fly around downtown Williamstad, check out the city, and all that. Visit more of the beaches and all that. Then across the Caribbean Sea again into the island of Bonaire. And we'll just turn around the outside of the island, right through the lagoon and the swamps, up across the coast, visit the tiny little island of Klein Bonaire before reaching the capital city of that, and finally land here at Tango November Charlie Bravo at Bonaire International or Flamingo International. So that's going to be today's flight, everyone. It's going to be a pretty chill flight. The plane I'm going to be taking here today, it is the Zlin Savage Cub, based off it's basically the Sims version of the Piper Super Cub. An all-around great plane to fly. It's definitely one of my favorites to fly. It's good to get this thing back in the air for the first time in a while. So let's get back into the cockpit of this beautiful bird. So you can see here a very simple cockpit, a very simple design as well. So turn her on is going to be pretty easy. Turn on the magnetos. And just turn on the strobe lights. And that's it. Easy to get started. We'll get ready to get going. Oh. So about this airport, this is Queen Beatrix International. Here in Oranjestad. It flies to destinations in the U.S., Canada, Caribbean, South America, and Europe. Named after Beatrix of the Netherlands, who was the previous Queen of the Netherlands from 1980 to 2013. This is the main airport for Aruba, and it's been around since the 1930s, but it was used in World War II against German submarines to protect the Panama Canal. It was known as Dakota Airfield, but it was renamed after Princess Beatrix in 1955. And it has flights from all sorts of cities, from Toronto to Dallas, Miami, Bogota, Medellin, London, Panama City, Lima, Amsterdam, you name it. They fly all over the place here um, in Aruba. So that is a little bit about the international airport. So we're going to go ahead and get this bird taken off, and we'll start our flight through Aruba. And we're off. Finally off. So. So yeah, it's great to it is very good. It is great to see all you guys back here today. I hope you guys enjoyed the week that you guys have been gone. So we're flying over what is Oranjestad. So go ahead and get this flying back in the air. Right here is Oranjestad. This is the capital of Aruba. It's been around since 1796. Built around Fort Zoutman, which was an old Dutch fort. But it became the capital in 1824, and it was named after the first king, King William I of the Netherlands. And the town really grew due to the fact that there was gold deposits and also oil. When the oil establishment, Lago Oil and Transportation Company, was produced in the 20s. However, right now the biggest deal for Oranjestad is tourism. It's been growing since the 1960s. And some of the tourism places you could visit Fort Zoutman, but the main thing you want to visit here in this part of Bonaire is definitely all the tourist shops and locations. So that's the main thing people want to visit Aruba for. So. But yeah, absolutely beautiful today in Aruba. So yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'll be happy to talk about my vacation here today. So I had a very fun vacation. We went on the ship Carnival Horizon. We departed from Miami, and we made our way down to Aruba. Aruba was the first island we actually got across. Then we went to Bonaire before heading up north to La Ramona, and then Amber Cove, which was just outside the city of Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. So that's where we did for our cruise. It was 8 days. definitely very, very cool. If you go, I'll show you guys some pictures of Aruba. Here it is. Here it is. General chat. Okay. Up. So let's show some pictures of my of the cruise we did. So we start off here in Miami. We started in Miami. We were on the ship, so we could see the Miami skyline. Miami's a huge city, as you all can probably tell. Then from Miami, we went down to Aruba. So here's some pics from Aruba. So right here is, we were at the cruise port terminal. So we got to see Oranjestad down here. So here's Oranjestad is the capital. Now, there are definitely some high points in the island. We're going to be flying over one of those points. There's the, and right here is the Parliament building, the Parlamento de Aruba. It's the Parliament building. So we visited that. There's the baseball field. Fun fact, Xander Bogaerts is actually from Aruba himself, so he's a very well-known baseball player. But he grew up in that part. But here's something that a lot of people didn't realize about Aruba. Yes, there are cacti all over Aruba. You see, unlike many other islands in the Caribbean, like St. Martin, St. Thomas, the Dominican Republic, or some of the other islands, the Aruba, along with Bonaire and Curacao, are all arid. Their climate is very arid, which meant there is not a lot of rain, and so you see tons of cacti all over the place. I kid you not. Very, very interesting. And right here, there's a rock formation. This is AO rock formation. We'll be flying over there today. So you see, there's actually rock drawings, and those came from the Taino people that used to live on the island back in the day before the Spaniards came. So this is where some of their paintings. And there's the rock formation. This is AO rock formation. So you can see that all around over here. Pretty cool. In one of our excursions, the excursion we did is called Top 10 Best of Aruba. So we got to see glass making show from a locally made, handmade glass arts for Aruba. And then afterwards, there's an old gold mine building. This area used to be very big for gold back in the day. So gold mining was a huge deal in this part of Aruba. So yeah, there's a picture of old gold mining. People used to mine for gold. Hey, good to see you, Scoop. Yeah, vacation went very, very well, my friend. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, this place is really unique. This is Aruba. The picture that's showing up here on the screen is Aruba. Yeah, when my mom and I, when my family went there, my mom, dad, and I, like, they were shocked. Like, it was arid, it was desert. There was all sorts of that around the island. But it was but like I said, it's a beautiful island, though. The beaches and water were absolutely gorgeous, and some of the natural formations just made this really cool. In fact, my mom reminds me. It looks like Arizona with beach. Basically arid climate with lots of it. There's the natural bridge. We should be coming up to that very soon. Is the natural bridge. Busy today? Oh, you're moving. Yeah, moving's always big deal. Yeah, movement's a pain. I hope the moving stuff works out seamlessly for you. Yeah, and there's more pics about the natural scenery of Aruba. But yeah, the beaches look absolutely gorgeous. The beaches look amazing here too. The water and all that looks amazing. And there's myself in the sandcastle. Yeah, there's me. These are just my Aruba pics. So right around this area to the left, should be where the natural bridge is located here on the island. Is located right here. The ruins. So we're gonna head to the AO rock formations. I don't think the sun, but you can definitely see there are some elevated points here. This is where the rock formations up. Right around here. Oh, flying over. So yeah. So that point right here in front of us is also the highest point in all of Aruba. So there's that. This way. I don't have autopilot on this, so I'm going to be manually hand flying. So if I don't get to the chat, I do apologize. I'm trying to get this thing in control. So. Busy? Yeah, I got this at the cruise thing. It's got all the Caribbean islands, but also Central America, top part of Venezuela. But it's got all the major Caribbean islands you gotta look for the trip. But it is a very pretty island to visit in real life. So right around this area is the natural bridge. There's the natural bridge of Aruba. Go ahead and go this way. So we're going to go ahead and climb up. Keep flying around the coast. Yeah, let's just see some more screenshot pics. Yeah, this is Aruba itself. It's flying a little low. Yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I'm just going to show you today the pics from Aruba and Bonaire today. Because on Friday we'll be back. We'll be doing another GA flight again on Friday, and we'll be going around the Dominican Republic. So we'll be flying around over the Dominican Republic, starting from Puerto Plata and ending in La Ramona. So we'll be doing plenty of flying around the Dominican Republic on Friday. So that is going to be the plan for the next stream. Is going to be on Friday. And then on Sunday we'll be back with the DC3 tour. We're back at Cold Bay, and we're gonna head up to Anchorage, Alaska from Cold Bay. Which is gonna be it's a 500 nautical mile flight in the DC3. So Should be about another 3.5 to 4 hour stream. So that should be a fun time. If you guys want to join in on my Discord, ! Discord, check out the channel via Discord. So yeah, right over here is a bunch of windmills around this area. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. If you guys have any plans coming up, I know the weekend's going to come up very, very soon for you guys. Since the last time I've been gone, I hope you guys had some pretty cool plans. In the flight sim world. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be planning on doing. So a little bit more about the island of Aruba. Let me give you some information about it. So Aruba is actually a constituent country of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, located here in the mid-south of the Caribbean Sea, just only 18 miles north of Venezuela, funnily enough. And they're part of the ABC island groups, along with Aruba, along with Bonaire and Curacao, or Curaçao, or Curacao. Aruba has 1/3 of the population of the Dutch Caribbeans, and it is actually one of the 4 countries that form the Kingdom of the Netherlands, besides the Netherlands itself, Curacao, and St. Martin. But the thing that really sets Aruba really unique compared to the other Caribbean islands is that its climate is dry and arid, with tons of cactus strewn around the landscape. It's also very relatively warm and sunny weather year-round, making it very popular for tourists. And despite its small size, over 108,000 people inhabit the island, which is pretty crazy to think about. But the first people to come to Aruba were the native tribes, the Arawak people, around 1000 AD. But the first Europeans to come along to Aruba were Amerigo Vespucci, which, by the way, his first name is where America was derived, and Alonso de Ojeda in 1499 claimed the island for Spain. Back in the 1490s. And both men described the island as the Island of Giants, remarking the comparatively large statue of the native people living in the island. And Vespucci returned to Spain with stocks of cotton and Brazil wood from the island and described houses built into the ocean, and eventually led to the Spaniards discovering the island in the 1500s. However, the Spain couldn't hold on control of Aruba forever, as during the 30 Years' War, the Netherlands seized the island for themselves, and it's still to the present day. And the Dutch used this area for meat and everything. But it really grew during the 19th and 20th centuries. With the 19th century, gold mining was a huge deal on the island. Was gold mining. Gold mining was a huge deal on the island itself. So gold mine's a huge deal for that. But then the 1920s happened with the oil refinery with Shell. It was built west of the city, followed by another refinery by the Lago Oil Transport Company. And as a result, during the 20s, the oil refineries in Aruba were some of the largest in the world, actually on the small island of Aruba. Eventually, though, in the 1980s, Aruba started to have more autonomy from the Dutch during the 80s. But it's still part of the Netherlands, but it has a lot of autonomy for the Netherlands. So pretty cool stuff about Aruba's history. In terms of other stuff, first, Aruba's fauna has several unique endemic animals only found in Aruba, including the Aruba whiptail lizard and the Aruba rattlesnake, along with endemic species of burrowing owls and parakeets, all live throughout the island. In terms of flora, in terms of plant life, they have all sorts of tropical. They do have several shrubland flora, but mainly the biggest are cacti, thorny shrubs, and evergreens. And of course, aloe vera is also grown on the island as well. And if you guys don't know about aloe vera, it is an evergreen perennial originated from Arabia, but it grows all around the world, and it's mainly harvested as a treatment for topical treatment, mainly used for skin treatment. Which is used to treat burns, wounds, frostbite, rashes, or dry skin. So that plant is very, very important for Aruba economically, historically. Very important, very, very important plant. But of course, the climate. Yeah, this is the big thing that separates it from the other islands. Rainfall is very scarce here at Aruba. Only around 20 inches of rain per year, and that means temperatures are consistent all year round because it is tropical. So it's at least in the south. For example, the average high throughout the year is 89 degrees Fahrenheit or 31.8 Celsius, and the average low is only 79 degrees Fahrenheit year round or 26 degrees Celsius, which means you're consistently getting warm temperatures year in, year out, which makes it very popular for lots of tourism. That's why Aruba is a big tourist place. Also, one of the more unique things about Aruba is the language. Most people actually speak a unique language called Papiamento, which is the most spoken about people, but basically it's a Creole language, which is based on Portuguese, Creole. But it's the most spoken language. The other major language is Dutch, which is the official. But other people speak Spanish, English, as well as the other two major languages here in Aruba. But tourism is a huge, huge deal. Over 1 million tourists visit Aruba every year in 2018. Many cruise ships come here, which is where I went to. But mainly the big thing that really grows Aruba's tourism with ships is in the wintertime. Probably because, well, with the warmer climate, bringing a lot of snowbirds in for the warmer climate. So it obviously made sense to do it that way. So, hey, good to see you, Whack-A-Mo. Absolutely. Absolutely, Whack-A-Mo. Really? Is my bot not working? Which thing working? Yeah, I'm on the Southeast Asia server. Yeah, and my closest airport is Tango November Charlie Alpha. currently crossing the ocean soon. So, I'm in the Savage Cup. But yeah, absolutely, Whack-A-Mole. You're free to join me anytime. Oh yeah. Okay, the Twitch thing's now coming. But yeah, here's my info. Yep, here we go, Whack-A-Mole. But yeah, Southeast Asia, Tango November Charlie Alpha. But we are going to get to Caraco soon for our first landings. Tourism is a big deal. There's lots of there's quite a bit luxury hotels, quite a bit with views of beautiful beaches. Aruba has some really nice beaches to visit. And Aruba's culture is extremely varied between the different types of people living here, but mainly with the festival Carnival. And it has some really unique architecture from the Netherlands, bringing over the Dutch colonial style along with some Spanish elements to create some very unique buildings here in Aruba. Also, one of the interesting fun facts about Aruba is, along with Bonaire and Caraco, is that unlike the other islands in the Caribbean, they are actually completely within the Caribbean Sea, which means hurricanes aren't actually a big deal in Aruba. Meaning, unlike many other islands, they're not affected by hurricanes nearly as much. Some pretty notable people that are from Aruba. They include Xander Bogaerts, shortstop for the San Diego Padres. He's played here. Dave Benton, a Aruban Estonian musician who has actually won the Eurovision Song Contest at 2001. The first Prime Minister of Aruba, Henny Emen. And the first female Prime Minister of Aruba, Evelina Christina Weaver-Crowes. So yeah, it's a pretty notable people from Aruba. Pretty cool stuff. With history. And we have Whack-A-Mole ahead of us. Great to see you, and I believe there's someone else with Lazy Day 2020 with us too. So great to have you guys here as well. Over the water. Yeah, it's it's great to have you guys back. So many really cool people back. It's great to have every one of you guys here. Always. Thank you. And So the next island we're visiting here is going to be Curacao. Yeah, it's Curacao actually. Um, Again, this is actually the main. This is the largest of the three ABC islands. Um, it's also the largest island in the Dutch Caribbean. Um, with a population of around 158,000 people, and it was formerly part of its own colony of the Dutch from 1850 to 1954 before being its own country of Curacao. The capital is Williamstad, which is its capital. Used to be owned by the Arawak, and Caquito Mara Indian peoples when they migrated to the island. But the first Europeans were also the same ones as previously with Alonso de Ojeda in 1499. And the Spaniards enslaved most of the Arawak people for forced labor, but not much people paid attention to the island until a lot of the Dutch. But it became part of the Dutch in 1634 during the 80 Years' War, which is the Dutch Independence War. And as a result, the Dutch held a hold of it. And they finally founded the Dutch West India Company for lots of trade, as the natural harbor provided an ideal place for trade, commerce, shipping, and even piracy was a big deal. Then on the island, they also discovered salt mining. It was a pretty big deal on the island, which salt was a very important export at the time. But the main thing the Dutch also made this island for was a center for the Atlantic slave trade, unfortunately, which brought a lot of African slaves from West Africa to the island before selling them to the Caribbean in the Spanish Main, which is the mainland of the Spanish Americans. Also, lots of Jews from Spain also found safe haven here in Curacao as well, and made huge contributions to their society and economic prosperity. After the abolishment of slavery in 1863, some people in Curacao moved to other islands, but others remained on the island as a tenant farmer system. But the big thing that really grew Curacao was oil, which was founded in 1914, and lots of oil companies made their homes in Aruba, and mainly also from Venezuela as well. But they mainly used the oil for a lot of their funding. So with oil founding back in the 60s, 70s, however, they turned to tourism as a pretty big deal on the island, and as a result, lots of people do visit Curacao, but not as much as other islands. So definitely pretty important about its history. Hey, We Fly Daily, good to see ya. Yes, great to see you too, my friend. Ah, there we go. Shouts might work. So, here you go, my friend. So, I visited Aruba and Bonaire on my vacation, We Fly Daily. But we're gonna actually visit an island I didn't get a chance to visit, that being Curacao. We're gonna fly over that island too pretty shortly. So, we're doing some flying over here. We're just doing some good old flying. Oh, lucky you! I'll want to visit one day. Yeah, Aruba and Bonaire, very cool islands. Definitely worth checking out. But they're very different from the other Caribbean islands because they're way more, shall I say, arid, if anything. And then some pretty interesting geography. I mean, similar to Aruba and Bonaire, lots of scrub lands with cacti, evergreen, and Watapana trees all grow throughout the island. Some of the major cactus species found here include the Pope's head cactus, or the mellow cactus and the prickly pear cactus all make their homes here in the island as plant species. And some of the fauna that live here, iguanas live here, hummingbirds, orioles, herons, egret, and even flamingos make their home here. So that's what we're doing. I hope. Yeah, we have Crazy Davy and we have Whack-A-Mo with us. Thank you guys so much for flying along with me on this Wednesday afternoon stream. Usually today is the Firefly Airstreams, but for this week, I'm going to fly over the 4 places I went on vacation this week before going back to our daily schedule next week. So, but yeah, so I know some MSFS news. It's been a long time since I've had news back in my streams. So, here's a couple of news that has happened since I was gone. One of the first things that was announced since the last time I was gone, was the Double Ender was just announced for Got Friends. That was announced on the 24th. FS Sim Studios has released one of the busiest air hubs in Canada, Calgary International, Charlie Yankee Yankee Charlie. So that was pretty interesting to see Calgary get a new airport, which is one of the main airports in all of Alberta, along with Edmonton. But here's a big news. The PMG 737 is finally out on Xbox, which is overdue. They released the 737 and 737-800 on Xbox. They're going to come out with a 600 and 900 later. Unfortunately, there's no liveries with it, unfortunately, because Microsoft has to have a minimal charge of $5 for liveries. Which I completely understand. I don't understand why that's the case. I would love to see PMG come out for free. But the PMG 737 is extremely positive as well. So, but it's about time this plane finally came out on Xbox. It was a... Oh, can do fly the Double Ender for a bit. Nice. Yeah. But yeah, the Double Ender, definitely a very cool plane, so very cool. But yeah, I'm very happy to see the PMG 737 finally on Xbox. It's been overdue. And I completely understand why they did the 737-800. Those are the 2 most popular variants of the 737 that people want to get. Lionheart Creations has got a new plane, the Bellionica Super Viking, has now just been released. Sim. Which is a 4-seat airplane, reaching speeds of over 200 knots. And it can reach a ceiling up to 25,000 feet. Featured wooden skinned wings, robot steel fuselage, and more. So definitely a very interesting plane to come out, and it's coming out for $25. So definitely a very interesting plane. As for some newer news, Dalek Design Team has come out with their own rendition of Philadelphia International. The previous design team worked on Indianapolis International and others, at around $20. But I mean, that's a tough choice because we have two, because the one released previously was also extremely deep and all that too. So we've had some really cool Yeah, the double ender, I definitely could get my hands on that one for sure, to take it out for a flight. Then the next one is the Bendix King KLN90 GPS unit is working on a new system, a freeware system, which people can use for their projects. And basically, this is an old-fashioned GPS autopilot system that's used for a lot of older planes as well. Featuring precise navigational data, airport information, waypoints, VOR, and more. So definitely a very interesting thing about this device. So pretty cool. And then here's a weird plane. When I saw this, I kind of freaked out. But if you guys weren't aware of this, the Scrapyard Monster, it's for free on FS Flight Sim TO. Designed by, well, the developer is actually, let me take a look at this. Oh yeah, Lord Freaks, he designed this plane. Born from January 2002. Basically got a V12 engine, over 1,000 horsepower. And this is a great bush plane. It can fly above 200 knots, climb like a rocket, and it can reach 37,000 feet. And it even comes with custom instruments, dual VOR Atlas navigation, and all sorts of lights and stuff. Come with 2 liveries and all that. And here's the best part. It's free. It's a free plane. Free. Oh, yeah. You know what? Actually, I might take that thing out at some point. I might give this a try at some point. The plane. Hey, Dougal McTavish, great to see you, Dougal. How you been? Lord Freaks was a great guy. We had him voiced in the last Shadow stream. Nice, Dougal. Let me give the Shadow Display team a shout out. Check out my good friends, the Shadow Display team. Here, it sounds like my bot stuff is now working again, Dougal. But yeah, I'm definitely might give this plane a try, the Scrapyard. But yeah, very, very cool plane. Like I said, stuff like this freeware is good for the sim. It can only be good for it. I just feel bad for the Xbox people because they'll never get their hands on it, sadly. And then if you like your business jets and like your jet planes, I got good news for all you Vision Jet owners. FlightFX has released a new update for it, 2.0, bringing it multiple avionic upgrades, bug fixes, tons of new liveries with VNav, along with the upgraded G3000 system from the AAU1 update, along with seamless charts and SimBrief integration as well. But they added a ton of new versions as well. It's still only exclusive to the marketplace, which is why I haven't bought the plane. But it is very, very, very good, though. So all you Vision Jet owners are going to be very, very good. Oh, it is a lot of fun. Nice. Okay, I might get my hands on that. And then other news, let's see. The Tornado from India Fox Echo has been delayed, so we might see the Tomcat. Shrike Simulations releases 2 planes actually today. First, the PA-30 Twin Comanche was released. And the MD-530F helicopter just came out. Known as the Twinkle, the Twin Comanche, comes with 6 liveries, and basically it's like an improved version of the Solo default aircraft, but it's for cheap. It's only for $18. Which is not bad for a price like that. For 18 for a twin-engine plane like that is not bad. I hope it does pretty well. And then there's the 530F, which features weapons, as well for $20 as well. So that looks pretty interesting as well. Not really a helicopter guy, but definitely very interesting. Then Blackbird Simulations comes out with an airport actually, the Beale Army Air Force Base, located in Northern California. And they're actually releasing this to support the upcoming release for the SR-71 Blackbird. So should be very, very exciting as well. And it's coming around at $18 US. So there's that. And then Aerosoft is going to announce their new airliner going to come out next after the A330. And it's actually the new engine model, the A330neo. And the last news is someone's actually going to bring the XB70 Valkyrie into the sim. Yes, the XB70. If you guys weren't familiar with the XB70, well, the Valkyrie was actually a prototype that was built back in 1964. It was capable of cruising to Mach 3, flying over 70,000 feet. As well. Unfortunately, however, the reason it wasn't into service was because of missile issues, mainly with the Soviet surface-to-air missiles and all that. Along with the advent of ICBMs and combine all that, the Valkyrie was no longer put in production. But yeah, someone's going to actually bring one of those into the sim. Airmax 514 has been working on that project, bringing his original FSX model to MSFS. And from the images, they look quite good. And apparently, according to him, the development's 90% complete. But yeah, it should definitely be very exciting to see XB70 Valkyrie in the sim. I know Just Fight's brought the Vulcan, but yeah, it'd be great to see something like the Valkyrie. Oh, the new C-17 update has just happened. I have not tried the C-17. I know Colonel Fork's been flying that C-17. I may ask him or Jay Winokur. But yeah. But I heard some great things about it. So, okay, guys, we just made a Curacao. So if you can definitely tell over here, we have some pretty striking mountains. Curaçao's a bit more mountainous compared to some of the other ABC islands. Right here. So we see quite a few of the hills and mountains. So some other information about Curacao as on our way here. Just like Aruba, it's very arid, with temperatures of average high around the year 88 degrees high, with an average low of 78 degrees, making it very popular all year round for tourism. And of course, Curacao also has a large amount of beaches. But one of the things that really sets Curacao apart is its unique architecture. From Spain, the Netherlands, and more modern architecture. And there are a bunch of forts all around Curacao, mainly Fort Amsterdam, Fort Nassau, Waterfort, and Fort Piscadera. Are all sorts of old-fashioned forts as well. Curacao definitely has tourism. It's not as big as Aruba and Bonaire, but tourism is still a huge deal on the island. With its great coral reefs, scuba diving areas, beautiful architecture, and all that, it makes Curacao a really good tourist place, for sure. And it also has a pretty rich cultural heritage with literature, its cuisine, and its sports as well, with baseball players like Andrew Jones, Ozzie Albies, and Kingsley Jensen, all from Curacao, and they make a big deal. And Curacao even actually made their way to the CONCACAF Gold Cup, and all that for football. So pretty cool stuff about Curacao, for sure. But yeah, very, very cool island. And finally, some notable people besides those baseball players. We have the past CEO of KLM, Pierre F. Harmon. we actually have Luis Brion. He was a Venezuelan admiral who participated in their War of Independence. George Majoro, a war hero, and the namesake of the Moradam in The Hague. Obviously, we got Andrew Jones, Ozzie Albies, and Kenley Jansen, all are very successful baseball players. And there's a few other athletes too. So yeah, that's about some of the interesting information about Curacao. Very, very cool. That's a bit about Curacao. So we're very, very close to reaching our first stop of the trip. Our first stop of the trip is going to be so our first stop in Curacao is going to be Tango November Charlie Charlie. This is Hato International Airport, or Curacao International. It was actually built in the 1950s. It's the major base for Divi Divi Air, which was the regional service in Curacao, I mean, but also used to be a main base for ALM, Antillian Airlines, KLM, Dutch Caribbean Airlines, and more. But during the Second World War, this airport was actually one of the busiest airports during World War II, mainly for flights between U.S. Air Force patrols against subs. But after the war, this place really grew as one of the busiest airports in the Caribbean, one of the busier airports in the Caribbean. And it's been home to quite a few expansions as well. But they mainly do flights all across not only the Caribbean, but destinations in North America, South America, and even some European destinations. For example, with flights to Toronto, Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, Miami, Bogota, Colombia, Port of Spain in Trinidad and Tobago, Amsterdam, New York, Paramaribo, and Panama City, Panama are some of the destinations that they float in and out of Curacao. So yeah, pretty cool stuff about the airport. Very, very cool. So yeah, if you guys are just came here, I have pictures on my Discord I'm going to show you about Aruba and Bonaire. So let's see if you could try lane predictions, by the way. Oh yeah, yep, they work. So I have my lane predictions. Estimation point predict. So we're getting close to the Curacao International Airport. So here it is. This is Curacao International, or Curacao. Yeah. So originally, what I was wanting to do for the flight plan for today was originally flying from Aruba to Bonaire to Curacao. I'm planning on doing like 3 flights on in the ATR. That was my original plan for today, but I decided, I want to do a GA flight, do 2 GA streams. So doing that sort of stuff. Add. Yeah, it's just man. I mean, I was about 13 stream viewers today on this stream, but it means I'm probably back. Had one of the beauties about this Savage Cub, very easy to get her plopped to the ground. Quick. Boom. Negative 90. Gonna pit stop here briefly. Get my fuel back up, and this would be just a quick stop for just a minute or two. So yeah, welcome to Curacao International, everyone. This would be our first of the 2 pit stops for the day. Just a quick pit stop for a minute, as everyone tries to catch up their breath. Let's go ahead and get this thing back in the air now. So let's go ahead and get back to it, shall we? So let's get back into the air. So we're gonna head down towards the capital. This is Willemstad. This is actually the largest city in all of the Dutch Caribbean. Established back in 1634 when they captured the island from Spain. It was named after Willemstad. This area is extremely unique culturally. Its city center is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's its own site, but it's been a very important part of the Dutch Caribbean since around the 19th century. It really grew with oil and salt. But the reason this place grew quite a bit was oil. This place was actually a major part of the oil fields around this area and was once the largest in the world back in the 1920s. But the thing that really grew the city is its unique infrastructure of its colorful buildings and all that make it a very unique destination here in the Caribbean. We'll check out Willemstad, I mean. Let's see these. We're down the coast. Here it is, the coast. So I also been playing quite a lot of Super Mega Baseball 4 the last 2 days. I definitely really enjoyed the new Super Mega Baseball, and if you guys want me to show it off on stream, just let me know. I'll find a way to get this thing set up for the stream. But I definitely want to show off a new... I may like to show off a new game once a little bit. So right here, we're about to make our way to downtown Curacao. More specifically, this is downtown Willemstad. Willemstad. Here's downtown Willemstad. Unfortunately, there's no photogrammetry in this area, but this area is usually very, very colorful. But fortunately, it's not. I'm slowly rebooting my sim back. No worries, Whack-A-Mo. No worries at all. Take your time. Like I said, we're not the fastest player in the world. A bit. So here we're gonna find the oil refinery factory. This is Isla Refineria, which used to actually be one of the largest oil refineries in the world. You actually get to see some of the oil refineries that used to be here. It's so many oil refineries around this area. There's so many of them. Yeah, it's nice to be back in this GA sort of stuff. It's been a... Mm-hmm. So, I do want to talk about my time with the cruise ship. So, we were on the ship called the Carnival Horizon. So, here, let me show you. We were on this ship. This is Carnival Horizon. This is the ship we were in. 133,000 gross tons of ship capacity. 39, almost 4,000 people, 4,000 guests can go on the ship with 1,400 crew. And about 1,000 feet long. She features some pretty neat things compared to the last Carnival cruise ship I've been on. One of the unique things is the multiplex, which actually has an IMAX theater. So there's a literal IMAX theater there, and both my parents went to see quite a few movies. Two of them were documentaries. One was The Last Glaciers, and the other one was a 3D one, which is National Parks. We got to explore that. Then the last one is with my dad. We got to see the new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Across the Multiverse. Oh, that was such a good movie. The new Spider-Man animated movie, well, brilliant. In addition to this as well, they got like spas, comedy club, a sky ride, which we didn't get a chance to do during our trip. It's got all sorts of different restaurants, including an Asian one that bonsai teppanyaki, which is pretty cool. We actually had a steakhouse, big 18-ounce steak. She's got a lot of decks and everything, and explore the ships. So we got to explore all of that as well. And we had a balcony. We had a balcony seat. But we got some pretty nice views of the water around us too. But very, very cool ship. Did the horn scare you? No, the horn did not scare me, Typhon. Nope, the horn did not scare me, Typhon. But yeah, it was a pretty nice ship, and we actually had a really nice cruise to the Southern Caribbean. We had a very, very nice time as well. Yeah, this is a very, like I said, these would be great flights to do in the ATR. Flying from Aruba, fly to the different ABC islands. But it'd be a great way to enjoy fun in the Caribbean. let me show you the cruise that we did. So this is the one we did on Horizon. We did day 1 in Miami. Then we had 2 days at sea before we made our way to Aruba. We spent from 9 a.m. all the way to 10 p.m. there at the port. So we got to explore quite a lot of time there. Then we did not visit Curacao, however. We visited Bonaire. So, but basically the town is the same, but we didn't visit Caraco. We visited Bonaire. Didn't visit La Ramona, which in Amber Cove, and those are 2 in the Dominican Republic. And then we actually had a day at sea, then arrived back in Miami. This wasn't exactly the cruise because we went to Bonaire, not Curacao. Actually, no, this is the one we did. But Carnival's done quite a few other vacations. One of those is actually literally you go to all 3 of the ABC islands on one trip. So that's what we did. Yeah, this area's got quite a few swamplands too. There's different lagoons, and these lagoons are very popular for kite surfing. Kite surfing is very big in this area, but mainly in Bonaire especially. So we're just gonna areas. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. If you guys are enjoying the stream and you haven't followed the channel, smash a follow on the follow button to continue getting my streams. And if you guys want to keep track of my content, I have a Discord. I stream every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday on Twitch. Usually today is usually the Firefly Air flights, but since I just got back from vacation, I'm doing 2 GA flights this week. One visiting the ABC Islands. On Friday, we'll be touring the Dominican Republic. And then on Sunday, we're back in our Alaska air. We're back in the DC3 World Tour once again, and we'll make our way over to Anchorage, Alaska, from Cold Bay. So this should definitely be a very exciting next couple of weeks, as well. But hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we'll be heading east from Alaska to the mainland United States. Hopefully within the next couple of streams, I think 1, 2, 3. So 3 weeks, we'll probably make our way to the mainland United States. Here it is. Here's another lagoon with full beaches, and we can fly over Fort Beaconburg. Used to be an old ruined fort back in the day. Isn't she a pretty right here, guys? However, guys, I won't be on vacation for about like 6 weeks actually, because I'm going to be back on another vacation in 6 weeks. It'll still be Carnival, but we are actually going to head to the Western Caribbean from New Orleans. Which I've never been to New Orleans before, guys, if you don't know anything about me, but I've never been to New Orleans. So, we're actually driving down to New Orleans soon, but we'll visit New Orleans. But we'll be back in I'm currently doing a world tour in the Hellcat. Nice. Nice. We fly daily. That's nice in the Hellcat. That's a great choice. Speaking of warbird around the world, I know she's not here right now, but Kaharia is actually also doing an around the world trip in the Spitfire. Now she cruise streams on Thursdays and Saturdays on her channel. So definitely check her channel out and give her the support. So, but this is where we're actually going to be going in July on Carnival Glory for New Orleans. So we'll be going depart from New Orleans. 2 days at sea, then we visit Jamaica. So I will actually visit Jamaica for the first time in Jamaica, on Montego Bay. Then we'll go to Cayman Islands. So we get to actually visit the Caymans, which is pretty cool. This area is famous for the stingrays, obviously, Stingray Bay. But there's lots, but they got cafes and all that sort of stuff in the Caymans. And then had some time in Cozumel, which I've been in Cozumel last year. Definitely a really cool area of Cozumel. It's basically part of Mexico, but it's on its own island. Cozumel's really cool. Planning to do a submarine excursion in Cozumel. For Grand Cayman, definitely do some snorkeling stuff. Definitely do some diving and snorkeling. Because and then for Montego Bay, we're doing the estate, which would be pretty cool. It kind of gave you the idea, yeah. Kaharia as well, definitely a lovely person to be around too. So, for sure. Oh yeah, the fine art spit's amazing too. In fact, the fine art spit's one of the first add-ons I got for the sim. It's still a great play. I still need to take this out on the stream sooner or later. Need to take that back out. So guys, I'm going to show you some pictures of my pictures in Bonaire now. So let me show you. General chat, here you go. Here we go. Here it is. So this here is Bonaire. This is actually the capital of Bonaire itself. This is Pralindijik, as it's called. This was from the cruise port on here. So there's the picture. You see quite a few ships. There's also Fort Bonaire in the pic. I got pics of the fort later on. So yeah, just like the other members of the ABC Violins we visited, Bonaire is very arid. So for that one, we did an outback excursion across the outback of Bonaire, because unlike Curacao and Aruba, this is actually the least developed of the ABC Islands by people. So it wasn't really developed very well, but definitely a very cool place. Just like the others, it sells colorful buildings and all that. There are donkeys on the island. So yes, there are donkeys all over the island. And of course, like other parts of Bonaire, like the other ABC Islands, cactus. Look at this. Some of these cacti are around over 50 to 100 years old of cacti. And they can grow to really, really tall sizes. But here's some interesting things I've learned about the cacti on my trip from Bonaire. So apparently you can actually use some of the cacti for different purposes. In the cacti actually is used for all sorts of things. Some people use them as fences, actually, to keep the animals in and out. And then other species of cactus can be used as like food, or even for alcohol and stuff out of some of these cacti. Pretty cool stuff. And also, when you go out far into the countryside, they actually collect water from all the area. It's actually pretty nice tasting. According to the locals, they said it's actually nice tasting water. because this was built on coral. All three of the islands were built from coral rock. And what they do with it is, because of it, the water is very rich in calcium, which makes it quite good tasting water. So, very, very cool. And yeah, look at all the cacti. And there's aloe vera as well, but there's taller species of cacti, and there's some smaller species of cacti for different purposes. Yeah, assuming if you didn't know this was an island, you would thought it would be in Arizona or somewhere, not in the middle of the Caribbean, of all things. And yeah, you can even find iguanas here too. Look at that iguana. Good little guy. Then there's some marshland, because you see Bonaire is actually got a lot of salt pans and lakes. They got lots of they got quite a few nature parks and everything. And this sanctuary in particular has got a lot of flamingos. Not only is there donkeys living on these islands, but also the American flamingos, which are native to this region, by the way. Yes, flamingos. Look at them. Now, if you guys want to know about flamingo, if you wonder how they get that pink colored skin, well, that's because flamingos get that color of skin when they feed on the shrimp and algae. And it's mainly from the carotenoids in their diet, which gives them that pink reddish colors that most people know flamingos for. So that's where they get the colors, but flamingos actually live flamingos can be found all over the world. I mean, far west is like the United States, like the Caribbean, Florida, North America. That goes far south as Argentina and Chile, and as far north as some areas of Europe, like Italy and Spain. Like, you'd be surprised how much of a range flamingos can actually live in. Pretty crazy. Very, very cool. There's a lagoon here, very popular for windsurfers. Windsurfers love this area for all the wind. There's electrical poles. There's a salt manufacturer here because, you know, salt is often farmed on the island. So there's a salt factory, tons of beaches. And then this here is Fort Bonaire. Interesting fact about this fort itself. But this fort around here is Fort Orange in 1639 to defend the harbor. And this fort has actually been rebuilt since then. But it was used for many purposes, like as a prison, fire department, police department, and museum as well. But it's a pretty cool little fort. It was rebuilt in 1816, but very cool port, and very cool fortress. There's some of the old cannons that were used. They were supposed to defend this port from any attack. And yeah, there's me. Hey, good to see you, Planet Neutral. Welcome, my friend. Hope you're doing well today. But yeah, we're just checking out, we're touring the ABC Islands today. I'm heading towards Bonaire right now. We toured Aruba, which I visited earlier, in real life. And then we flew, and we just crossed, through Curacao, which I have not visited in real life yet, but I decided to visit it anyway. So we're now heading towards Bonaire. I'm just showing off some of my pics. And there's the old governor's house that used to be in Bonaire during the time. So that is basically it then. But yeah, these are my pictures from here. I'll show you the other pictures. Starting on Friday, I'll show you guys the rest of the pictures. But I also showed you, and I'll show you the Dominican Republican pictures. I'm actually thinking about starting from La Ramona to Puerto Plata. So we'll be. Well, I'll be showing you guys all those pictures. Great to have you guys here, as always. And I mean, I can't believe I got this many people first stream when I came back, but it's very. But we are just 15 nautical miles away from the end of the stream. So we'll just be touring the island of Bonaire for just a little bit. But definitely a very, very cool place. And a shout out for Planet Neutral, an awesome friend of the channel. He does a lot of bush flight streams on his streams. If you like doing like bush flying and wanted to learn a bit, check out his channel. He's a great friend. Thank you so much. So yeah, guys. But yeah, I'm gonna be visiting New Orleans next month. So I'm gonna definitely be. I'm actually gonna spend an additional day in New Orleans before the cruise. That's because there are two places that are worth visiting in New Orleans. First is the National World War II Museum, which is located in New Orleans. This is the World War II Museum. If you got this is used to be known as the National D-Day Museum, but but from what I heard, it is one of the best World War II museums in the country. Which is what I like to visit. The other one is actually a very famous plantation in New Orleans. It's something my parents want to visit. It's Oak Alley Plantation, actually, which is Oak Alley. That's the one my parents want to visit, is that one. So, hey, Sky Command, what's up, Sky? Welcome. Welcome. Good to see you, Sky Command. What's up, my dude? But yeah, the flight's going well. We're about to reach Bonaire in just a little bit. So this here is the World War II Museum. I'll be visiting here next month. So I'll be checking out all the different exhibits and all that about World War II. So I'll be checking that out. So you see all the different galleries and all that sort of stuff. Exhibits about World War II and how New Orleans was involved in the war. But very, very cool little museum. They have all sorts of different galleries and stuff. But very, very cool. And then this is the one my parents actually wanted to visit. My mom and dad are big. My parents are big. They like plantations and stuff. This is the Oak Alley Plantation. And this plantation is a very cool one. This has an interesting history, actually. This was a National Historic Site. It used to actually be a plantation known for its 28 oaks. but it also was built as a slavery plantation. And a lot of the exhibits feature some of the individuals who were owned and kept on the plantation as slaves, and also lived their life after they were emancipated and everything. And you could visit the big houses and all that sort of stuff as well, along with some of the gardens, blacksmith, and all that sort of stuff in this plantation. But it's definitely a very pretty house as well. It's a very beautiful plantation. It's got a rich history. So yeah, my parents are going to be wanting to visit that. Especially my mom. My mom likes those old houses. But apparently from the history, this was actually built as a sugar cane plantation by the French Creole Valcourt Iron, who was a slave owner himself. But it was definitely a very beautiful architect, and it's featured in quite a few films, mainly Netherworld, Long Hot Summer, and it was even used in a video game, Red Dead Redemption 2, actually, as the plantation featured in the game. So yeah, if you wonder why that plantation looks familiar to some of you guys play Red Dead 2, that's because that is actually the plantation. Yeah, pretty cool. Exactly. It is really interesting to learn about the history of these places. Like I said, everything's got its own unique story to tell. So right over here, guys, it is the island of Bonaire. Ahead of us is Bonaire. A little bit about this island of Bonaire. This island is the smallest of the 3 ABC islands. Very popular for snorkeling and scuba diving due to its multiple diving sites and the reefs. Population is the smallest at 22,000 residents live on the island of Bonaire. It's also got its own marine park in national park areas, home to all sorts of cacti species. And people have been around this island since 1000 AD with the Arawak people. And of course, just like the other 2 islands, it was founded in 1499 by Alonso de Ojeda. And it used to be Spanish until the Dutch took it back during the 80 Years' War in 1636. And Bonaire became a major plantation for the Dutch West India Company, as salt is a huge deal in this area. Salt was what gained it much of the popularity here in Bonaire. Bonaire was also a big deal in World War II as an army air base, and both Princess Juliana of the Netherlands and Eleanor Roosevelt all visited Bonaire. And it continued to develop in the 1950s after the war with radio, petroleum, and more. But the thing that really makes Bonaire unique, like the rest of the islands I mentioned, Sky Command, is unlike those rest of those islands, Bonaire is very arid. It's got tons of, in fact, you'll see more cacti than you see big trees. There's not a lot of rain in the area. And in terms of climate, Bonaire is pretty dry. The most rain you probably get a year is probably around 20 inches of rain per year. And it usually fluctuates in temperature and the average temperature is around 81.5 degrees. So it's pretty warm. But unlike a lot more other arid places, it's actually not very hot. On average, it doesn't get too hot, so at least it's tolerable. But Bonaire is very much the big tourist. It's not as big as Aruba, but Bonaire is still very important for tourists, like to visit a lot of the island. So that's a little bit about the island currency. Salt production has been a big deal. In fact, Cargill currently operates their own salt, and they produce 400,000 tons of industrial grade salt per year is made on the island. And they usually, in fact, salt is primarily used in industry here. Bonaire, in terms of sports, many Bonaire residents participate in many sport events, including scuba diving, sailing, fishing, boating, windsurfing, kite surfing, biking, baseball, and more. Of course, it's in fact, Bonaire is home to several professional windsurfing champions. Windsurfing are made here in Bonaire. And there are quite a few notable people from Bonaire. But yeah, pretty cool little area as well to visit. But very, very cool. So So the capital of Bonaire is Kralendijik. Population 10,000 people. It actually is an alteration of the Dutch word of Korendijik, meaning coral dike. The current town was built was around in the 1600s. It was named that in 1830. And there's quite a few sites to actually visit here in the city. There's a World War II monument in memory of all the Bonaireans who lost their lives during the war, mainly when German submarines were killed. There is the Pasangrahan, which was built for one of the families, but it became an office for water supply public works. There's Wilhelma Park, named after Queen Wilhelma, who ruled for 58 years as the ruler of the Netherlands. There is Fort Orange, or Fort Bonaire. That's one of the other monuments. There's all sorts of historical cannons, a fish market, and all that are around Bonaire's capital. A pretty cool little capital as well. So yeah, I technically visited the Netherlands, basically. Even though I visited the island of Bonaire, this area is technically part of the Netherlands. So there's Whack-A-Mole ahead. Oh, you'll also be visiting the Netherlands. Nice, in 1 week. Oh, I hope you have fun at the Netherlands, Planet Neutral. So, are you going to be visiting? I wonder what part of the Netherlands you're visiting. I know you're probably visiting Amsterdam. I think you might be visiting Amsterdam, Rotterdam, The Hague. I think you're going to probably visit one of those three cities, either Amsterdam, The Hague, or Rotterdam. Definitely, those three cities have all got some really unique history and everything. I mean, the Netherlands is definitely cool, and fun fact for a lot of people that want to know about the Netherlands, much of the land that they actually currently have is reclaimed from the sea. They did lots of drainage and all that, and increased the land area of the Netherlands significantly. So, yeah. It's where we catch the boat to Norway. So just Amsterdam. Oh, you've been to Amsterdam. Nice. That's cool. You get to go to the Netherlands. That's cool. We get to visit Amsterdam. I would love to visit a bit about Amsterdam as well. Like I said, I would love to visit Europe in general. Um, but there's a lot of things about Amsterdam. A lot of people love visiting. About Amsterdam, I would like to visit. Obviously, there's tons of museums in Amsterdam. Um, there's tons of places, areas to visit. There's the Rijksmuseum. Um, there's that one. There's the Anne Frank house, which talks about Anne Frank herself. If you guys never read the book, the Diary of Anne Frank, it talked about her experiences living in World War II Netherlands, trying to hide from the Nazis. Which is a very interesting story to read. I read that back in school, but you experienced all those from her diary, photos, film images around that as well. But it's definitely a very interesting museum as well. The Rijksmuseum is about lots of Dutch history. It's like the main Dutch museum. There's a Jewish museum as well. But there's tons of museums to visit. There's lots of attractions, obviously, tons of sites. Obviously, of course, you can't go wrong with the cruise through the canals of Amsterdam. You can't really go wrong with it. There's also a botanical garden, several forts to visit, parks. But there is a lot of things you can do in Amsterdam that requires more than there's restaurants and bars, shopping. There's all sorts of really unique neighborhoods as well. But yeah, Amsterdam's a really cool city, though the issue is there's a lot of tourism. Oh, Rijksmuseum. Okay, yeah, Dutch is not. I don't really know Dutch too much. I gotta work on my Dutch. Rijksmuseum. So this is Sorbonne. We visited this area too here. So Sorbonne's got the beach. So if you know if Chicago needs some fresh ink, let me know. Yep, it's Rijksmuseum. Oh, I gotta work at a tattoo shop. We have tickets for the Van Gogh Museum and Frank House. Long ago. Lyrics Museum. Reeks Museum. Reeks Museum. Duchess. I do apologize, Planet Neutral. I wish I could get better. But yeah, Frank Gogh Museum, Anne Frank House, and the Canal Cruise. Nice. Like I said, I would love to visit Amsterdam at some point. Though I would also like to visit Rotterdam too. I would also like to visit Rotterdam, which is a bit smaller than Amsterdam, but it's a very cool. But just like Amsterdam, it's got rich history and all that too. It's a newer city, but it's got lots of pretty cool stuff. So this is actually where they actually grew some of the salt, is right in this area. So right in this area, this is actually where much of the salt in Bonaire is actually grown, is this area right here. I don't give up easily. Rijksmuseum. Rijksmuseum. Oh. Yeah, what I'm mainly trying to be doing is trying to get some information about some more information about 2025 ideas for my mom and dad. So I'm just trying to come up with some cool ideas for not next year but 2025. So I've been working on what to do because 2024 is already basically nearly booked. Though I might do one more in 2024, probably in January. So we're probably thinking that we might end up doing a Mexico a cruise into Western Mexico, which includes Cabo San Lucas, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta, which would be a very nice trip from Los Angeles. That would be a really cool trip. Because we never visited that part of Mexico. Right. Rijksmuseum. Okay. Yay! Rijksmuseum, got it. Viper actually got something. Woohoo! Yeah, and of course there's also the Hague too, which is another very historic city in the Netherlands as well. But yeah, very, very cool. So the airport we're going to be visiting today, the final stop is Flamingo International, Tango November Charlie Bravo, the main airport in the island of Bonaire. It was actually built around 1936. In fact, KLM was the first one who did flights in Bonaire in the Fokker F-17 ship. But it really grew during World War II when American soldiers arrived here. And then they actually extended the runway back in the 50s and 60s to allow planes of those McDonnell DC-8s in 707 aircraft. And then they were extended in 1970 to allow the DC-9s land. And then later they expanded all the way back to 2,400 meters so they can do the 747 and MD-11s. But surprisingly, despite this being pretty far out there, Bonaire International actually has flights to the United States, Miami and Atlanta, obviously the other ABC islands of Curacao and Aruba, and even flights to Europe like Amsterdam, which is pretty cool, despite the small airport, which is really, really neat. So yeah, very, very cool. Hey, Ian Fisher, great to see you. You're not even going to try and fix Puerto Vallarta. Good to see you, Ian Fisher. Oh, you're going to be flying there tonight. Oh, nice. You're going to buy the Puerto Vallarta. Oh, that whole area is very pretty, part of Mexico. In fact, I think that the next Firefly Airstream, I think I'm going to be flying to Cabo San Lucas to Puerto Vallarta or something like that for a 737 flight, which would be really, really cool. But in fact, I think it'll be the ATR flying to those two places, which would be really, really cool. But we'll do vacation destinations. So this little island is Klein Bonaire, everyone. This is actually uninhabited, but it's basically a little island right next to Bonaire itself. Cool little island. But it's very, very cool. So here's the capital city of Bonaire. This is Kralendijk. Or Kralendijk. Kralendijk. There we go. It's Dutch. Robert Ambrose and the Dutch boys can build a dike and more. Good. Yep, good to see you, Fernald. My break went very, very well. We visited Aruba, Bonaire, and then two places in the Dominican Republic. We visited La Ramona and Puerto Plata. In fact, we'll be flying those places on Friday, Ian. So if you come by, you can check out Friday's stream. We'll be flying to La Ramona to Puerto Plata. So we'll be checking out those places. We're going to get ready for the final landing for today. Our final landing today. But yeah, the break went really, really well, Ian. But yeah, the Dominican Republic's pretty cool, actually. I know that I'll talk more about that on Friday, but a lot of people don't realize but the Dominican Republic produces more Major League Baseball players than any other country besides the United States. Yes, the Dominican Republic, more so than Cuba, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, and even Japan. It's more than all those other countries. So, really nice. And find parking spots. And that's going to be the end of today's stream, everyone. So that's it, everyone. So oh, you're currently waiting at Shannon. Oh, nice. You're at Shannon International in Ireland. Nice. Yeah, Shannon's a pretty cool little airport. It's got a pretty cool history, but yeah. That's it, everyone. And that is how we wrap up today's stream, everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming here on today's flight. It's great to be back in the streaming again. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's flight around the ABC Islands in the Caribbean. We'll be back on Friday to do flights around the Dominican Republic. So a massive shout out to all you guys. Thank you guys for coming here on today's stream. So we'll plan on a raid here today. I'm planning on raiding. Let's see. Who are we gonna be raiding today? I'm probably going to raid. I'm actually gonna probably raid Chewy Nuts today. I don't see Candu and all them out, so I'm gonna raid Chewy Nuts today. Let me see if I can. Yeah, we're gonna go raid his stream. So guys, seriously, thank you guys so much for being here today, guys. I hope to see you all again on Friday. We'll be back in the Dominican Republic. Let got the name right. Yeah, there you go. So guys, thank you so much. See you on Friday, and take care and have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone. Have a great time.